Death by PowerPoint. It's so commonplace, it has become a meme. Anytime I'm working with clients to try to help them to make their slide design better, I will point out the 10-20-30 rule. This is not my idea. This is actually the brainchild of Guy Kawasaki, who was gracious enough to be on the podcast. And I wanted to ask him about this and have it straight from his mouth into your ears. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Karen Reed. I'm a 4-time author, Emmy Award-winning broadcast journalist, and communication expert on helping people to own the room, whether it be a physical one or a virtual one. Welcome to Speaker Dynamics. So Guy, this is kind of a surreal moment for me because I have been quoting to my clients your 10-20-30 rule forever. And I have the person who created it on the screen with me. So out of body experience for Karen Reed. But can you share with our listeners, what that is and why you came up with it?
Sure. So I have been a venture capitalist in my day, and even just as a kind of visible person in the tech business, I get pitched a lot with a lot of different business ideas. And not everybody knows this, but I am fundamentally deaf at this point. And I use a cochlear implant to hear, which you probably didn't even know that or notice because but it works good enough for a circumstance like this. And I believe that I am deaf because of all the shitty pitches that I've heard in my career. That's another beeper moment. So because of this...
But it's true, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's got to be true, yeah.
Yeah, so because of this occupational hazard that I have undergone, I am deaf. And so I figured out, before everybody goes deaf in Silicon Valley, I need to help them craft their pitches. So the 10-20-30 rule is that you should have approximately 10 slides. Now, if you go to 12, 13, 14, okay, but don't go to 60, 10 slides. You'll be lucky to get 10 thoughts across. And then you should be able to give those 10 slides in 20 minutes. You may think you have an hour, but you're going to start late. The projector won't work. Somebody has to leave. Something's always going to go wrong. So if you can do it in 20 minutes, you can always go long. But if you plan for 60 minutes, you cannot do it in 20 minutes. That's a much harder thing to do. And then the 30 is my theory that in order to enforce brevity, you use a big font, because the bigger the font, the less text you use. The less text you use, the less you're going to be tempted to read it. So you use a big font. Steve Jobs used a 190-point font. Okay, but you and I are not Steve Jobs. But, using an 8, 10, or 12-point font where you read a paragraph, there should be no paragraphs on your slides. There should be no sentences. Nancy Duarte, who is one of my friends and, does this communications consulting firm, she has what's called I think she calls it the glance test.
It is.
That's
another one I quote.
Yeah. Okay. So when you see a slide, you should be able to just glance at it, and then you're back to looking at the speaker. So the speaker changes slides. You glance at the slide. You're back to the speaker, because you want the person looking at you, not trying to figure out your stinking slide that has 8-point font with paragraphs and graphics and all that. So it's got to pass the glance test. So that's the 10-20-30 rule of presentation.
Which I have to tell you, sometimes like some of my clients, their heads start to spin. They're like, there's no way we can do that. But, especially when you talk about the font size, which, I've seen the 8, 10, 12-point font. But I do feel like it's even more important given the virtual world that we are living in.
Yes.
Because the slides dominate the screen and it minimizes the presenter as the primary conduit of the message. I'm assuming you agree.
Yes. You want, listen, if Steve Jobs uses a 190-point font and uses 5 words on a slide, Guy Kawasaki uses let's say 60-point font, and I probably have 3 words on a slide. I have even less. I'm telling you, the fewer words and the bigger font, the better speaker you are. So if you're using 8, 10, or 12 and you're using 200 words per slide, you suck. You suck as a communicator. It's that simple. I hate to tell you, it's that simple. And you know what? There's going to be people, Karen, listening to this, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, Guy is talking about the great unwashed masses, the mediocre, the great unwashed masses, the mediocre, the mundane. He's not talking to me because I have a patent pending Jesus, I have a patent pending, remarkable, revolutionary application or product. So I get to use 60 slides. I need to use 60 slides. Guy's talking to the mediocre people. They can use only 10 slides, but I'm special. Well, I hate to tell you, but I'm talking to you."
And honestly, I mean, you are preaching to the choir, and what a delight to have the preacher here. It's just been such a great thing to have you put that out there, and I'll keep singing it. I'll keep singing it, Guy, and hopefully we'll see fewer and fewer death by PowerPoint slide decks. So thank you so much.
All right, take care. Now I truly am going surfing.
Okay, have a great day.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.